Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. We are from 8th group, and today we would like to present about interactive speech, turn-taking, simultaneous talk and interruption, speech formulated on the spot, pause and gesture, English conversation by Chinese speaker, disciplines, and also discourse makers. But before we start our presentations, let me introduce our group members. My name is Gaspar Minuholis as the first speaker, and then there are Fauzi Abdul Aziz and Toha Asin as the second speaker and the last speaker. So let's start the presentations. The first material is about interactive speech, turn-taking. A turn-at talk is defined by Goffman in Alvarez 2009 as a stretch of talk by one person before and after which there is a silence on the part of the person. The second material is about types of turn-taking strategies. According to Steinstrom in Dewi and Munir 2018, there are three types of turn-taking strategies. The first one is taking the turn. Taking the turn refers to how each participant or speaker has a chance and a turn to speak while doing conversations. Second one is holding the turn. Holding the turn is about how the speaker wants to hold the change, but they have difficulty in controlling and planning what the things have to say. And then the last is yielding the turn. Yielding the turn is how each participant or speaker is given a change by the previous. Okay, the next material is about turn taking. Based on Rihanna 2018, there are 7 turn-taking patterns used by the teacher and students in a classroom interaction. The first one is greeting. Greeting was used by the participant in order to begin the teaching and learning activities. You can see to the forefront or to the side, it is an example about conversation greeting. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Teachers said. And student answered, very well. And you? And teacher said again, I'm good, thank you. The next is check and clarification. Check clarification was used by the teacher in order to examine students' learning development. Look at the example. Teacher said, my first question is how are you doing with your task of learning the final examination? Put up your hand if you have met the teacher. Okay, you. The teacher pointed at us as a student. And student A said, I can make it, sir, because the teacher is sick. And the teacher answered, no problem. The next is question answer. This pattern is used by the teacher as one of the ways to encourage the student to be active in the classroom. You can see to the example. Teacher said, if we talk about students' participation, what is the condition? And then the student said, the students are active. Teacher said, how many students are active? And student answered, all of the students. The next is request acceptance. Request acceptance is the next pattern occurred in the classroom interaction. This pattern is initiated by the teacher in order to ask students to do something so that they can participate in learning. You can see to the example. Teacher said, how many tasks are there? And student D answer, more than one, sir. Teacher said again, could you simply how many? And student D answer. Let me answer. The next is instruction compliance. Instructions from the teacher are needed by the student in order to know what they should do in learning activity. Look at to the example. Teacher said, so you can focus and look at here. What publisher in what year the textbooks is copied? It doesn't matter which book you use. And student answer, yes sir. The next is offer acceptance and rejection. The type of turn-taking patterns occurred in the is offer acceptance and rejections. You can see to the example. Student A said or asked, "May I help you?" And student B answered, "Wait audience." The last is lip taking. This is the last pattern that found in the classroom interaction. This pattern indicates that the classroom interaction among the teacher and the students will be stopped for that meeting. Teacher said, "Okay, thank you. It is enough for today. See you in the next meeting and Assalamualaikum." Students answer, "Waalaikumsalam. See you. Thank you, sir." Okay, let's move to another material. This is about methods to develop students' awareness of the features of turn-taking. According to Wilt, 2014, there are 4 methods. The first one is watch without sound. Watching a recorded discussion without sound and having the student guess the content helps to raise their awareness of paralinguistic features such as body language and gesture. The second one is provide an oral model. The same recorded discussion could be used to raise awareness of the linguistic features of turn-taking. For example, you can give the students a transcript of the discussion with key lexical phrase used for inviting people to speak and allowing someone to interrupt, and etc. And then the third is increase self-awareness. The student on discussion can be recorded. Most phones have the capacity to make a video or audio recording. This can provide a fun and interesting tool for helping students analyze their own interaction and judge their success. And then the last is use a talking stick. When a student neither hold their tongues too long or have a tendency to stay quiet in group discussion, teachers usually often use a talking stick, which is passed around the group members. Only the holder of the stick can talk at any one time, and all group members have to hold the stick at least once. Simultaneous talk, meaning 2 or more speakers talk at the same time. It is a prevalent phenomenon in conversations. There are 2 patterns of ongoing simultaneous talk: turn international occurrences and turn transitional ones. And for the last material is about interruption. An interruption is described as an intrusion or conversational behavior that the present speaker metalinguistically marks as illegitimate. Based on Lostari, Krismanti, and Hermaniar 2017, said that there are 4 purposes of interruption. First is completing other turns, second is cutting other turns, and third is shared knowledge, and for the last is similar perspectives. I think enough for me. The next material will be delivered by Fauzi Abdulaziz, so thank you very much.
The next is speech formulates on the spot. The first we must do is keep it smile, don't try and make an alleging statement or to have some incredible story to start. Forcing something to impress usually fails. Second is be yourself. It less about content or more about you. You could say, I wasn't really expecting to give a speech, but now that's my wife. Not my wife, with me, her stick knife to come up here. Or I'm really glad to have this opportunity to express how happy I am to see you, one of Chris' friends getting married. It's maybe. Third is speak from the heart. It's really important to you to speak from the heart if you want to be a good speaker. And four is pause and start. You must know when we must pause and when we must to start. You must to do the tempo to the good acquirement. Okay. And five, don't worry to making mistake. People making mistake, we always making mistake. You just must to apologize if you making mistake. Okay. Gesture, and the next matter is gesture, pose and gesture. Gesture are different in every afterworld, and you just to use your gesture, your style if you want to get the conversation. You can see the gesture from the screen. Next is pause. Pause are used to create anticipation when speaking. Pause also give you time to think really about what it is you want to say. A lot of people do not like pause or silence, so try to fill up all the time taking. It is good communication to be silent sometime.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Taha. Today, I'd like to discuss about English conversation, disfluence, and discourse marker. First, definition about conversation. Conversation is the use of speech for informal exchange of views or deals or information. Conversation occurs when people talk to each other, like a conversation with your friends about school or professional basketball or football. The noun conversation comes from the Old French word of the same spelling meaning, manner of conducting oneself in the world. And then disfluency in conversation or star, start, stuttering. Disfluency is disorder that appears as an interruption in the smooth flow or fluency. Break or disruption that occur in the flow of speech are labeled disfluencies. All speakers may experience disfluence even, especially under certain conditions such as nervousness, stress, fatigue, or complexity of language. And then Saints and Simpson of disfluency. The following typical disfluences happen to many of us and are not disfluency. For example, adding a sound or word called an interjection. I need to go home. Or repeating whole words. Well, I don't agree with you. And next is discourse marker. When we communicate, we mark how upcoming word or phrase relate to previous discourse. This discourse makes is comprehension by providing a preview of what coming up next. They are essentially for making a conversation sounds natural and fluid. And this example is uh, like a result. As a result or consequently for some reason or somehow, then therefore thus since so. Uh, and then like example, as an example, as an illustration, or for example, and there is a discourse marker. And the last is structure coherence in conversation. First, definition of structure of conversation. Conversational structure is method used by speaker to structure conversation efficiency or management of conversation term. The structure of conversation are first, opening. Second, initiating exchange that establish social relation. And then middle, and then next, negotiation and development. And then third, taking mechanic, then feedback, closing, pre-closing exchange, and the last is closings. And coherence conversation. Conversational coherence is a process consisting of series of association between period of local coherence in incoherence, by which the global coherence of the conversation is maximized. Coherence in conversation in text can be partially characterized by a set coherence relation, motivated ultimately by speakers or writers need be understood. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your nice attention and sorry for any mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.